The Terran Chef. Original story by you/Wadi_101. So you know of the saying, don't fuck with a Terran? No? Well, back when the United Galactic Front, UGF, was just new, and the Terrans had only just joined? Well, it didn't exist yet. The Terrans had only joined for less than a galactic cycle, or just over 2 Terran years, and many had still to have any involvement with them. Hell, they had barely came out of their home sector yet, and hadn't even fought in any wars clashes, or even a raid with any other of the usual problem species. Of course, this was before we found out about the Shadow War, but that's another story for another time. Now the humans, sorry Terrans, had been stuck in their own galactic arm, just spreading out for around 300 cycles before first contact with the UGF. We had all thought that part of the galaxy was absent of life. No other species had been found or came out, and any exploration had either turned up with nothing or simply not returned. Then one day they just jumped right into Cleric, the UGF capital system, and started broadcasting. "We come in peace, please take US to your leader." Turns out that was an old Terran joke, but I'm getting carried away. Terrans quickly spread into the inner core, and slowly made their way to our little end of the galaxy. That's how we met our little chef Thomas. Now Thomas was short for a Terran at 1.7 m tall, or half of adult kilt. He was terrible at first, and insisted on cooking all our meals. Can you imagine a good slice of burg served cooked? It was disgusting, but we trained him to make our meals just right, served it just above frozen. Perfect at 2 degrees Celsius. Now Thomas had been in the Terran military for most of his life, and Terrans had a long life, over 60 cycles. The average kilt would only live 70, maybe push 75, but these Terrans had slowed the aging process and lived for 100 cycles easy. He told us of stories of wars and battles, which we didn't believe since they had been such a peaceful race with just traders and merchants coming from their galactic arm. No military had been seen. He had some scars, and one tattoo of an avian on top of a ball, with some sort of ship's anchor. Thomas had 3 rules. 1. No ketchup on steak. 2. Clean up when you done. 3. No one touches his Mossberg. We had no idea what ketchup or a steak were, but never got shouted at for it. His canteen was spotless after a crewman had left his unfinished meal, and woke up with Thomas in his bunk dumping the day's food waste. We found out his Mossberg was the tube thing above the kitchen door after a young pup took it, and used it for a game called golf, and woke up in the infirmary a week later. The captain wasn't too pleased, but had agreed Thomas had been a brilliant member of the crew, and everyone knew his 3 rules. Now for the good part of the story. We had heard rumors of these hardy Terrans, so we had gotten Thomas on board, just in case. See, we had a long slog of cargo to take, and had to go through some not well-traveled areas. We had just done our 3rd station drop of 19, barely even out of kilt space, when they hit us. These Harrison had been harassing our trade routes for a while now. We knew it was a pre-build up for an invasion. They had already started the war machine, hence these long trips. Pirates they had been declared by their empire, but we knew better. They hit the engines first. Right after our drop out of light jump to reorient, after an asteroid field had blocked our original route, these new Terran scanners were amazing. Comms took the second blast, and we hear dead floating there. We all ran to the middle chamber, same plating as our hull just for these situations. All of us, that was, except Thomas. He was there, counting us all in, holding his Mossberg. When the captain got there, Thomas pushed him in, shouted something the translator couldn't catch, and locked the door. We later found out it was aura. It still doesn't translate, but forces fear into anyone who hears it. We heard the parasite ships hit us, and blow a hole in the hull. The silence that followed was horrible till it started, bang, after bang, after bang. The noise echoed through the ship for an age before deafening silence again. When the doors opened, we were shocked. There in the flashing emergency lights stood Thomas in some clothes we had never seen before. All black with a helmet covering his face, holding his Mossberg still smoking as he cracked it, spitting out some plastic case. We all watched the security feed later, and, my saviors, what we saw was sheer horror. No species moved like that, fought like that, killed like that, and even took some shots without even flinching. The footage went on the comms net, and the saying was born.